Hello my friends, what's up? The Dutchman, Ruben Buijs here. Glad you could make it. Yeah. The album, 2016. Time flies when you're having fun. I got introduced to Gojira. Thanks to you guys. You suggested them. A couple of years ago. I think it was Flying Whales. Well, immediately I was blown away. I even dedicated an entire day every week. It was just about Gojira. I've seen him live 2 times. One at the Dynamo Festival and one time into the Wave Festival. Insane live band and one of the most relevant metal bands in the business today. Take it or leave it. So this is still, their last album. They're working on new material right now. I think they recorded all the songs. I'm not entirely sure. But we can expect a new album next year. This album, it's like their Black album. And I have to explain that, of course, but I think most of you will immediately understand this. This was a little bit more accessible. Not as radio friendly as the Black album, of course. But this, of course, and you notice that right away when the first track begins, Shooting Star. The clean vocals. Joe had already expressed his desire to focus more on that. He had done tracks with clean vocals, of course, but most of it, over the 90%, was the death metal approach. And immediately with Shooting Star, a very slow, hypnotizing opener. I think a very original way to begin this album. I think when you put this album on, you immediately know, hey, this is a bit of a change. Again, the clean vocals are a little bit more central and it's a little bit more almost hold back the album has so much, it has a lot of emotion, but this time not necessarily aggression, but more of grief and sadness. And this is of course because the mother of Joe and Mario died while they were recording the album. And it shows, the album is a lot about pain and dealing with grief and loss. Sometimes pain can be the reason for great art, and it's just no exception here, I think. Shooting Star is a great way to open the album. Very original approach. I think a very smart move. When Silvera starts, an absolute monster of a track. Maybe that's, now that I think about it, maybe that's my introduction to the band. You have the growls and you have the clean vocals very well combined with a great break in the middle, instrumental break, which is, so engaging and so memorable. Absolutely one of their best tracks they ever put out. Without question. This really is, Silver as really, if you really want to talk about their new approach or their new direction, I think Silver is a great example of that. Next track, Cell and Stranded. Stranded, again, very hypnotizing with an incredible, memorable groove and riff. It's almost radio friendly, but it really pulls you in. And with the Cell, the track before Stranded is a little bit more of the Gojira we know, a little bit more aggressive. These things make this album. This album has a lot of variety. It's easily one of the best albums released in 2016. More on that later. On the B-side, because if we're talking about vinyl, of course we have Pray and Only Pain. So again, a little bit more of the old Gojira we all know and love. very intense, aggressive. You know, fantastic feeling for rhythm. You know, but you know that is Gojira. The title track, Magma, is also the longest song on the album. It's a little bit more complex composition. Most of the tracks are little, I will not say simple, little bit very straightforward. But it fits. It's okay for this album. It really works. But Absolute Magma is a more, you know, very interesting. One of the most interesting tracks in general. This album ends with the last track, Lowlands, again dealing with grief, sadness, you know, and trying to move on after you've had a significant loss in your life. And what I really like about this album is because you have two instrumental tracks on it, Yellowstone and Liberation. The last track is Liberation, and it's you know, it's instrumental track. It's very laid down, you know. Almost a relaxing track, and what I think they were planning to do with what the meaning about that is. It's more of a sign of letting go and accepting what has happened at FNF. The 9 tracks before that were, you know, aggressive, a lot of emotion. This one is really peaceful, almost calm, and yeah, I think the meaning behind it is, you know, you accept what has happened, you know, accept that pain, you know, move on. There's no other choice, and you know, that's what makes us human. You have to go on. Maybe I'm getting a little bit too emotional here, but that's whatever they were. That was the big idea behind it all. All in all, this album was very polarizing because a lot of people really missed. Again, you know, Gojira's, of course, started and was whatever death metal is, you know, was the core of their being, and this was really something else. But I think this album shows they have really grown as musicians and as people, and it was a big risk, but this is their next step in their evolution. You know, the guys are over 40 years old now. And then your music, you know, when you go older, your music changes, everything changes in your life, and that goes for artists as well, and how they want to express themselves. I really like this album, and it really proves that Gojira is one of the most interesting and relevant bands. When we're talking about metal, you know, there are few bands I can compare them to. I think they really are in a league of their own. They have a lot of course, you know, every band has styles which are comparable, but it's there. I think Gojira is its own unique mix. Maybe the tracks on the album, it misses a little bit of the intensity, of course. If you're an old school Gojira fan, I can fully understand that won't be easy. But it's, you know, there's just no other way. This was going to happen sooner or later. Not their best album. I think, of course, I too like that intensity when we're talking about Gojira albums. Maybe not the most interesting compositions when we're talking about, you know, their entire history. But if you're a Gojira fan, you know, and you like metal in general, there's no way around this one. I'm gonna give it a solid 4.5 stars. I love these guys, you know, and if you have been watching my channel, if you've been following my channel over the years, you know, I've done so many videos about this band. Seen them live twice. Next year, they're gonna be the support act of Korn, also one of my favorite metal bands of all time. Hope and pray. We will see. My friends, agree, disagree, or both. Let me know. I would love to hear what you guys think about the album Magma. For me, it's a 4.5 stars. Tell me, what is your rating? You guys are the best. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, click on the like button. Subscribe if you like what I do. If you want to, you can support me on Patreon. That will be awesome. Promise I will do this for the rest of my life. See you soon, my friends. Bye-bye.